various various issues where they come forward and they talk to me about, the kids are not probably wanting to study. They are getting very hyper. There is no way we are able to control their activities. Few parents come up with these kind of things. So in today's session, I think what I would want Dr. Guha to address is how do we mitigate these effects of being completely homebound, first thing. And second thing, because you are an ophthalmologist, what I want to put forward to you is how do we as, academic coordinator or curriculum facilitator, how do I bring into my curriculum areas where we can probably focus on the health of the eye of a child, because there's lots of screen time which is coming into force.
Definitely, ma'am. Well noted. We will take these points into account, and I'm sure there will be many more questions from the parents as well who have joined this program. We would like to straight away start. May I now invite our program chair, Mr. Amitava Datta, to formally introduce the speaker to our audience, please. Amitava, you are on.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Sujata ma'am. I am very much privileged to introduce her to this platform. Now, I don't want to waste any more time. Dr. Sujata Guha did her DNB in ophthalmology in 1998 from Shankara Nethralaya, Chennai. Thereafter, she trained in pediatric ophthalmology under Dr. T.S. Surendran. She completed her FRCS in 2000 from the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh. She has been with Shankara Nethralaya since then. She has served there in the Department of Pediatric Ophthalmology and Strabismus and is currently heading in Kolkata branch of the organization. She has always been an enthusiastic teacher and has trained fellows from all over the country. She introduced the Pediatric Ophthalmology Fellowship Program in Kolkata, which has already trained many ophthalmologists from all corners of the country. She has also helped introduce the DNB training program in the Kolkata branch of Shankara Nethralaya. Her special interest in cataract, pediatric cataract and complex strabismus. She is one of the most profile pediatric cataract surgeons in the Shankara Nethralaya. She has published various papers in national and international journals and has delivered various talks in national as well as international conferences. So let's welcome ma'am. We are very much privileged to have you today evening. So stage is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Amitavada. We also welcome Dr. Arnab Basak today from Apollo Hospitals. He is from the Obstetrics and Gynecology Department and also happens to be the better half of Dr. Guha. We welcome you, Dr. Basak. We are very, very pleased and honored to have you with us today. Over to you, Sujata ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Team Ishri and Ms. Mukherjee for that kind introduction. And thank you, Mr. Datta, for inviting me to your session. So let me try and address the various concerns that all of you have with your child's eye. And I will be discussing it in the form of questions that I receive from parents. And I will be addressing each question that are commonly asked. Now, if you have any questions beyond what I have discussed, then I will be glad to clarify that in the next several minutes. So let me start sharing my screen with you all. Let me start by saying that today's talk, basically I have named it as Eye Care in Children and COVID, but I will be discussing several general things that you will need to do for your child's eye to keep them healthy. So now it's particularly relevant because the classrooms have all become digitalized and children are spending more time playing on the screen than playing outside. So what are some of the common questions that parents are coming and asking me? The first question that is very relevant, and I know all of you are waiting to listen to this, is how much screen time to allow children. Now, the ideal screen time, mind you, this is the ideal recommended by the American Academy of Ophthalmology, Pediatric Ophthalmology. The ideal screen time is no screen time for children less than 2 years. And they have said you can do video calling with grandmoms and your other relatives, but however, no screen time for children less than 2 years. 2 to 5 year old, 1 hour screen time, and more than 5 year to up to teenagers, it is 2 hours. Now, if you see that this is not really very doable now, you might probably follow it for under 2 years, but for the little older children, it is no longer possible because of the online classes, because they can't go out, they have to be inside, and how to occupy them, it is mainly with some screen or the other. So it is not always possible. And that is why I will try to give you some solution with a little increased screen time. But however, the aim is to restrict the screen time. By screen time, I mean laptops, tabs, mobile phones, television screen, all the screens to less than 2 hours. That is the ideal. Now, while on the screens, I want to discuss how to make your child sit on the a seat on for the classes or for some homework or whatever. This kind of posture is not really correct. The correct posture would be to sit straight with the back touching the chair, to make sure the height of the chair is such that the child's foot is resting on the ground. And if the child's foot cannot be rested like that, you can put a stool so that he can rest his legs on that stool. The computer screen should be about 1.5 feet away, and the angulation of the screen should be such that the center of the screen should be slightly lower than the center of the eye, slightly in this direction. And the forearms should be parallel. So let me make it a little simpler. The table should be at elbow height. The screen should be an arm's length, and the screen center should be slightly below the eye level. Make sure that the child is not looking up at the screen. It is better to look down at the screen than looking straight or up. Now, how can the screen be made a little eye friendly? So these are some small tips. Now the mom can see the monitor and she can see whether the monitor is reflecting light and angulate the monitor such that the reflection is kept as minimum. You can put an anti-reflection screen, which is available now in most of our gadgets. You can increase the font size to above 12, and the text background versus the text can be black and white or black with slightly yellow. So make sure the contrast is good. And the lighting in the room, well, tube lights do increase glare if they're falling on the screen. So you can use some indirect light, or the tube light should be coming from behind. If you have a window with sunlight streaming in, you can actually turn the computer so that or you can put drapes on the curtain so that there is not much glare on the screen, and you can put the computer just beside the window instead of keeping it in front of the window. So this is another question which is asked very often. Is the mobile phone okay, or do we need to get a laptop for the classes? Well, the smaller the device, the more the eye strain. So the obvious answer is the bigger the device, laptop is a better option than mobile phone. However, now we are asking parents to cast the mobile data over to the television screen if possible, so that it becomes a bigger screen, plus the activity becomes a distant activity. All these gadgets, mobile, laptop, personal computer, all induce near activity. And near activity can have some detrimental effect over time. But the television is a distant activity. So all the harmful effects of the near work can be limited by casting the telephone, the whatever you are seeing on the telephone over to the television screen. Now, another question is whether the child's glasses need an reflective coating. If your child is wearing glasses, or even if they're not wearing glasses, do you put on glasses with anti-reflective screen? The anti-reflective screen does reduce glare, so it is more soothing on the eyes. But most of our devices do have the screen, so you can use it, and it is beneficial because it also reduces the chances of dry eye if you have a screen in front of your eyes. Another relevant question, does my child's glasses need a blue filter? Well, the answer is no. It is one of the marketing gimmicks of the optical shops. Most of these current day gadgets like the laptop, mobile, they usually have a blue filter. So an additional blue filter on your glasses is really redundant. It does nothing but increase the cost of your glasses. Another question, where should we make our glasses from? Well, there is no particular, I have no financial interest. There is no particular place that can make glasses accurately. Any average shop which is reliable is okay. The frames should be lightweight, preferably plastic. Make it colorful so that the child likes wearing the glasses, and make the child choose the frame. And if the child is uncomfortable with the glasses, remember, do not ignore it. Get the child to visit an ophthalmologist. Now, another question which is commonly coming, that my child's eyes are watery and itchy. While they're doing their online classes, they blink more often. So this is what we call as a computer vision syndrome. We used to see this very often with the computer IT professionals who used to be on the laptop from morning till night. But now, surprisingly, over the last 1.5 years, we are seeing more and more children coming with the same problem. And this includes in the reduced blink rate, because they're staring at the screen automatically. Anytime you stare at any screen, your blink rate reduces, which in turn increases the corneal exposure to the atmospheric air and causing dry eye. So with the dry eye, you will have symptoms like blurry eye, red eyes, frequent blinking, irritation, watering, all of them. So how to avoid this? This is a very important tip that I'm giving you, that your child will need to be on the computer more than 2 hours. I assume that in this pandemic, it is not possible to restrict. So what can you do to prevent these symptoms of dry eye? So what we call it the 20-20-20 rule. So after every 20 minutes, look away from the screen for 20 seconds at some objects which is at least 20 feet away. What I tell parents is that you give a break after every 20 minutes to half an hour and tell the children to go and maybe revisit the washroom, wash their face, and come back and join back again. This way, the blinking increases when they leave the screen, and they are automatically forced to look away from the screen. And we often now give a lubricant to tide over this crisis of COVID screen time. So I sometimes, actually, most times I prescribe a lubricant to these children, telling them to use it. They're over-the-counter lubricant. They're not even prescription drugs. And they can use it 3-4 times a day till such time the pandemic is over and they are free to go back to their classroom. As parents, what you should never do is apply over-the-counter drops which contain steroids. most of the over-the-counter drops, which you will, if you go to the optical or if you go to a pharmacy shop and ask them, they will definitely hand you over a steroid drop, which temporarily acts like magic. You put the drop, child is happy, no itchy eyes, no red eyes. But the steroid drops can be harmful when it is used indiscriminately. It can increase the risk of cataract and glaucoma, which you won't even know. These are silent diseases. By the time you realize, the damage has already been done. So it is important to at least consult the ophthalmologist once before you start any drops. And do not allow your child to become addicted to the digital screen. Now, the digital screen is a soft addiction. I tell parents that it is almost like any other addiction that you can have. It is all, I mean, if you don't want your children to become alcoholics when they grow up, you will stop them, right? It is similar. They also become digital addicts, which is a form of addiction. If you take it away, you will see that they have become restless, they have become irritable, they have become aggressive, all of this. And so instead of getting them to be addicted and then de-addicting them, it is better to restrict your child from digital screen now. Now is the time to restrict them. Besides the eye, it has several other side effects as screen addicts. It stimulates the brain. It stimulates the brain to a level which is unhealthy. And after the brain has become stimulated with the different games, different digital, mainly the games, what happens is that anything else, any other games, any other activities becomes a little boring for them. They're always looking at these activities to stimulate the brain, because these activities stimulate the brain to a level which nothing else can do. So it is best not to let them become addicted to these kind of stimulation. Now, changing tack from screen to another question, which often is asked in my clinic, is my child's power is increasing rapidly. Can we do something? Now, powers can be of different values. Some are plus powers, some are minus powers, and some are cylindrical number. The power which increases with age till the age of 18 is called myopia. And now, if believe me or so, we are seeing a myopia pandemic over this COVID pandemic. It is because constant near work will increase the tendency to become myopes. Usually, myopia or minus number was seen in children whose parents were myopes. But now we are having children coming to us with myopia from a very small age, and their parents are not even myopes. And we wondered, what could it be? And sure enough, it is the increased screen time which is leading to myopia. Once myopia has set in, it is showing a increased progression of myopia than what is normal. And now 1 in every 6 child is supposed to will become myopic by 2030. It is progressing towards a prevalence of almost 50% of our population of children. So you can imagine it is such a huge epidemic which is going on, and it has been actually linked scientifically with several randomized trial to near work and increased indoor activity. So if I can give one advice to parents, it will be that increasing near work can bring about myopia. Instead of letting your children work with computers, laptops, tabs, mobiles, ask them to work on the television and encourage outdoor sunlight activities, which reduces the progression and which reduces the chance of the child becoming myopic. Now, the second question that we get asked, once you find out that your child has got myopia -2, -3, The next question which comes will be, doctor, can we give them some food which will stop the power from increasing? And the answer is no. The only thing which helps will be increased outdoor activity in sunlight, reduced near work, and there is a dilute atropine drop which is available now, which we use to reduce the progression, and we give, if we see a progression, we give that drop. But diet as such has absolutely no role in the progression of minus number. The plus numbers don't really progress, so that is not an issue. But again, with the increasing minus trend, the plus number seems to be decreasing now and going rapidly towards minus. So again, to reiterate, if your child can't go out and play in the fields, let them go to the terrace, let them go to the balcony, let them go down to the passage to get some sunlight and some fresh air. Take a break from digital screen, restrict gadgets to online classes. If you can't stop the online classes, of course you can't, then at least let them stop the games, online games, the mobile games, all of that. And wear glasses with proper refractive correction. Bring them to ophthalmologists for a routine examination, because myopia will increase. And the child will often not complain that he is seeing less for distance. So it is left for doctors to discover that he is not really, the power is increased. So unless you bring them over to ophthalmologist, we won't know that the power is increased. So what are the signs that you need to look out for, giving you some indication that you need to visit the doctor? One will be frequent rubbing of the eyes, redness and watering. These all could be a feature of excessive computer use. Going too close to the screen, this could be a feature that the child's power has increased and you need to change the glasses. Blurring of vision, again, with the power increasing, the vision will be blurred, but often children do not complain of this. Again, headache and the eyes turning in or out, the squinting of the eyes is something that should warn you that you need to go to a doctor immediately. Do not neglect any squint. Squinting is something which is actually not a good thing for any eyes. For a child's eyes, it is definitely not good. You should visit your doctor as soon, or if you see the squint. Again, some of these conditions, by a red eye, white reflex in the pupil, squint eye, all these need to be checked. So when should you visit an ophthalmologist? Well, if your child develops any of these signs, then of course it is very clear. Otherwise, a routine ophthalmic examination yearly should be mandated, while actually mandated in schools, or while you are admitting a child to a school, you should look out for an ophthalmic examination while admitting this child. Now, a small information on what we call as lazy eye. Let me explain what is lazy eye, which is found very commonly in children. When a child sees equally in both eyes, then equal stimulus goes to the brain and the child can process the information. Now, if one eye cannot see well, for whatever reason, one eye has got more power than the other, one eye has got a cataract in a child. So for any reason, if one eye cannot see too well, what happens is that the stimulus from that eye which reaches the brain is a hazy stimulus. Now, when the brain is processing, the brain processes the good eye stimulus very nicely, but it tends to suppress the stimulus which has come as a hazy stimulus to the brain. So the brain suppresses and lets one eye dominate, and that is the eye which is seeing. The other eye, because it is suppressed and it is not being used, becomes a non-dominant or a lazy part of the brain. So that eye stops seeing. Now, once you give the glasses, normally your vision should come back, but it doesn't, because the brain has become lazy. And then We need to patch the good eye and stimulate the lazy eye to make it see better. And you will often see many children come to school or come for playing with one eye patched. And this is what we are doing. We give 2 hours or 1 hour of patching a day in which the lazy eye will see and will get stimulated. So to summarize, I would request all parents who are listening to this talk to restrict the screen time as much as possible. And if you have to increase the screen time for inevitable reasons, give rest to the eyes every 20 minutes while using the screen. Encourage your child to go outdoors and play, and visit an eye doctor whenever you see warning signs or even as a routine examination. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have received a lot of questions from our audience. So I would try to read them out to you, and we can have some answers from you.
Yes, of course.
So one gentleman here asks that, is a tablet better than a phone?
See, I had actually mentioned in my talk, any gadget which is a little bigger is better. So a tablet is bigger than a phone, so it is a little better. Yes.
The next question that we have is, how do we differentiate between a tired eye and an eye disorder?
See, tired eyes are a part of the disorder. Tired eye is a part of the computer vision disorder that we are seeing. Your eyes kind of like, you would like to close your eyes. Your eye feels better when you close it. Towards the end of the day, you feel sleepy and your eyes completely droop. These are all part and parcel of a pathologic feature. It is not a normal tired eye. Tired eyes are not normal.
Right, right. So which is safe, a warm cotton pack or a cool water cotton pack over the eyes of the child after the classes?
Cool cotton pack.
So I'm sure all of you are getting your answers. Please keep putting your questions in the chat box. We'll take them one by one. So one gentleman says, I have stopped playing phone games. I used to play a lot of phone games, but can I play phone games once or twice a week? Is that safe?
It is, but remember that 20-20-20 rule. When you're playing games, you have to stop at 20 minutes and give yourself a rest. I just tell, see, for children, when you have classes, I think you can give a break every half an hour. Tell them to go to the restroom. Moment you give a break, they will be looking at a distance. It is a normal reaction of children. So you take a break at 20 minutes and then, get back to the screen. Look away, get back to the screen for after some time.
Okay, ma'am. Another gentleman here asks, what should we do about the brightness of the computer? Should we put it to low? Should we put it to high? How do
No, I think the brightness should be at the optimum, somewhere in the mid-level. The contrast should be a black and white or a yellow and black. And the lighting of the room should be such that it does not cause glare on the screen.
We have some more questions, ma'am, but I have one question for you.
Yeah.
I also meet a lot of children due to these ISHRE activities, and also I have more than 200 people in my organization who have little children. They often come and tell me that the child's mental health is getting affected. He's becoming selfish. He doesn't play with his brothers and sisters. He doesn't talk properly. He's glued to the screen. Even he falls asleep. If he's not given the screen, he falls asleep, or he's mostly quiet. What should we do when such symptoms occur suddenly in the child? A very happy, jovial child is becoming, restrictive, is not playing outside, probably is having some problem. What should we do about that? What would you advise the parents?
This is, as I told you, screens are digital. This is a digital addiction. Children become, what is addiction? If you take away the thing that they have become addicted to, they crave for the thing, they become aggressive. It is like any other addiction. So if you take it away, they become aggressive, they become they are in a bad mood, they refuse to do whatever is asked of them. And like I was telling you, all these games stimulate the brain to such an extent that no other activity in this world can compete with that kind of stimulation. Okay, so you have to give the brain some rest from this stimulation. Constant stimulation will release a lot of neurotransmitters, which is too much in the brain. So you have to give them some break. So that is why for the very small children, we actually tell them no. Yeah, parents often come and tell me, I just put on the cell phone when they're eating. Now my advice is absolutely avoid it, because they are not paying attention to the food that they're eating. They're not developing taste for the food that they're eating. So this is actually a bad habit to start off in a child. It is not that we have grown up without eating, right? We didn't have cell phone when we were small. So it is better the moms converse. These are all stimulus which excite the child, but not to the extent that a video or a YouTube or a picture that can stimulate. So it's always better to give them some other form of a lesser excitatory stimulus.
Very correctly pointed out, ma'am. Including, the new mothers, they often tend to put on some video or something on the mobile while feeding the child. And it's a very common thing that we see all around. So all the audience, all the new mothers in the audience, this is something that you should be noting. So we have another gentleman or a lady, I think. She says that what kind of exercises would you recommend to keep the eye healthy? Are there any exercises that we should be doing?
See, the for screen, there are different sorts of exercise. For the screen, the blink rate increasing is the exercise. So blinking more often. Now, if you look at the screen for a long time, you forget to blink. So what happens is that we really don't advise you to blink, but for adults, what we tell them, when you're sitting at the computer for a very long time, remember and blink more often is our advice to computer professionals. For children is remember and take breaks very often will be the advice.
Ma'am, can you recommend certain foods that should be included in the diet of the child to keep the eye healthy? Certain kind of food?
I have answered this in my talk, that there is no food as such, meaning there is no special food for increasing the health. A general balanced diet, which includes multivitamins, vegetables, and fruits, which have got colors in them, should contain all the adequate vitamins which are needed to keep our photoreceptors healthy. So I think a balanced diet should be a good advice. You don't need any external vitamins to improve the eye health.
Okay, ma'am. We have somebody asking that his son is 9 months old and is addicted to the television while having food. Can we allow it, or should we stop it right away?
I think I have answered this. I think television is still, see, now that we are challenged, I keep saying that between the cell phone and the television is the lesser evil. So if you have to addict your child, addict them to the television, because it's a distant activity. The more the near activity, the more we are seeing galloping minus numbers. The minus numbers are coming, and after that, they just keep on increasing. So we are saying that television, if you have to give them food with some kind of entertainment, then better it be television than the mobile phone.
Absolutely. Another gentleman asks, is looking at the plants beneficial for our eyes?
Absolutely. Looking at the plants and looking at distance is almost the same. Yes, the green color stimulates the brain in a very, very mild fashion. It is definitely good.
I think we are done with the questions in the chat box. Is there anybody with a serious issue or with a serious problem that you want some advice from ma'am? We can allow a couple of minutes, because I will not hold her back unnecessarily at all. If there is anybody whose child is suffering from something serious related to the eye, you want some advice, quick advice from ma'am, any parent or any teacher here, we may allow a couple of minutes. Otherwise, we will close it. We will not waste time at all because she's a very busy lady and she's given us her time. So a couple of minutes. Is anybody there? Please unmute yourself.
Nilanjana,
Yes, yes.
my child has some question. He wants to.
Okay, okay. Okay, you want the child to ask it? Okay, sure.
Ma'am, I am addicted with a mobile phone. My father always restricted me to stop this thing, stop this mobile. While I am addicted with mobile, my father always tells to stop this thing. Should I stop this thing or not, ma'am?
You tell me, what do you think? Should you stop or should you not? Should you listen to your father or should you not listen to your father?
I will listen to my father.
Yes, good job. So you should listen to your father. When you're addicted, so you should stop that addiction. It is like if your father is addicted to smoking, you will tell him that, daddy, stop smoking, right? So it is something like that. Your dad is trying to be good to you.
Anybody else? Anybody else who wants to talk to ma'am? We have a couple of minutes before we end. Is there anybody else who would, any parent, any teacher who would like to ask? And yes, yes.
Nilanjana, good afternoon.
Good
afternoon, ma'am.
afternoon.
My name is Shubhro Lahiri. I want to ask some question. Actually, my daughter is in class 10. Her background is her mother and her grandmother having a -10 sort of power and all that. Now she is having almost 1.5, 1.25 in left and right. So now this online class and all these things are going on. So any precautions should be taken or?
So one thing, see, myopia will gallop the more the near activity. So for the online classes, if you can just cast the class onto a television, screen the mobile to your television.
Yeah, ma'am, that is
possible.
But actually the interactive session and all that can be
The camera is not there.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is one of the problems. So if you don't need a camera, you can actually do it. Otherwise, please do follow the break rule that I have given you. After every half an hour, you can't break between classes. So if the class is for half an hour, break and then go and come back. But the power will increase more the near work, more the increase in power. So for every activity that you can cast or screen onto your television, please do it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Anybody else with any question?
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, yes. One at a time, please.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. Actually, my son is in class 8. And so the online class duration is about 4 hours. Then his hobby is coding. So he spent a lot of time on computer, at least 4 to 5 hours, another 4 to 5 hours. So I am little worried about his eyes. So can you, ma'am, please suggest something?
See, again, too much screen time in class 8. And you should push him out of the house and get him to play some games outdoors. You have to do that. It is important for his health. He should not sit hunched in front of the computer. If he has to sit, see 4 hours class plus 4 hours of coding is 8 hours a day almost. So if you have to do that, make sure he's sitting correctly, make sure the height of your chair is fine. Otherwise, he'll develop not only eye problems, he'll develop spine problems by the time he grows up. You wouldn't want that to happen, right? So, and you have to give him break, push him out of the house. Even though he likes his hobby, get him to get some other hobby. He can always develop a coding hobby a little later. He will affect his back also by the time he grows up.
Okay, thank you, madam.
We are almost towards the end of the program. I'll have one last question from the gentleman who wanted to ask something. One last question. Is the gentleman here who wanted to ask a question? Okay, I guess he's not here. So may I now invite Mr. Shanko Bhattacharya to kindly do the official vote of thanks as we would be closing the program now. Can I have you online, Shanko?
Yeah. Good evening and thank you, Nilanjana. It's really an honor to offer a vote of thanks on National Doctors' Day. Open your eyes and look within. So on behalf of our ISHRE Kolkata chapter and on behalf of entire CWC team, I express a very hearty gratitude to our distinguished speaker today, Dr. Sujata Guha, for her valuable time with us. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
We have been really fortunate to have Mrs. Dipti Tiwari in our program. Thank you, madam, too.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the program.
I'm thankful to Dr. Arnab Basak, Dr. Meena Basak, Dr. Tirthankar Bakchi, who has willingly joined us today. Thanks to all parents and their children who has joined with us today and willingly put their questions on the chat box. Thanks to all audiences, senior members, members and non-members, faculty and students for joining us and attending this interesting session, and that too not technical. I'm very thankful to our chapter president, Mr. Manish Tiwari, and president-elect, Ms. Nilanjana Mukherjee, for being with us. Special thanks to Nilanjana for hosting the show so beautifully. Thanks to our K-12 chair, Anindya Basu, program chair, Mr. Amitabh Datta, and his team, Mr. Subham Banik and Siddharth Majumdar, for excellent coordination for this program today. A special thanks to each of our sponsors for their valuable contributions to the society. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned to ISHRE Kolkata chapter for various social media platforms for the upcoming activities. It may be webinar of technicals, but there are many webinars non-technical which also needs your support. Thank you for being with us. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much, Shankoda. Thank you to everybody who has joined the program today. We will now take your leave. We hope to organize many more such good programs with many such distinguished speakers in future as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you and good night.
Siddhartha, please close the program.